Hello and welcome back. I am Dr. Lori Williams. So I want to talk to you about how the turning point in any transformation is going to be taking radical responsibility and why it's so important. So first and foremost, every transformation is going to stop. It's going to just get to a certain point and then stall. So if you found that you're on your healing journey and then it's like you don't know where else to go, or it just kind of seems to be going backwards, chances are it's the fact that you're not taking radical responsibility is why you feel stalled in your healing journey. So what happens is that until you start taking radical responsibility, you end up just cycling through the same problems and the same toxic behavior and things like that. So how do you know when you are caught in one of these loops or in this trap? Essentially, you're going to notice yourself blaming circumstances. So maybe it was like, oh well, this happened to me and I didn't have any control over it, which that is true, but we will get into that in a minute. So you're blaming the circumstances outside of you. You're blaming specific people, or you're blaming your past. So when you recognize one of these three areas, you know that you're just in that cycle of that loop of not taking radical responsibility. So I do want to clarify that taking radical responsibility is not about blaming yourself. It's not about shaming yourself, but it's also not about excusing other people's the harm that they have caused. It's not about that at all. So essentially what it is owning your choices, it's owning your reactions, it's owning your patterns, your beliefs, regardless of whatever is going on outside of you. So no external factors are going to can sway you when you truly own and take radical responsibility for everything that's going on in your life. So essentially, when you start taking radical responsibility, you move from being like at the mercy of your life and you're just kind of the victim of your circumstances into being the author of your life, the creator of your life, and being able to step into the version of yourself that is creating the life of your dreams. So why essentially is taking radical responsibility, why is it the turning point? Like, why is it, the secret, so to speak, of any healing journey? And essentially, victimhood is going to keep you stuck. So when you're sitting there and you're waiting for other people to change, or you're waiting for your circumstances to change, you're giving your power away. So you're surrendering your power to those circumstances. When you have, you realize that you have a choice in it, that choice equals your freedom. The moment that you own that part of whatever is going on, you gain the ability to choose something different. So essentially, when you shift from blame to responsibility, you are retraining your nervous system from being in like reactive in fight or flight response into more of a regulation and a creation mode, which that's where your power is. So essentially, when you are working through your own healing and you start to take radical responsibility, you're going to realize that it's a lot easier for you to be able to learn or to process through these loops, these cycles that you get into. They're self-destructive, essentially. They're, things like self-sabotage, repeating the trauma over in your mind, either mentally or emotionally, or both. These patterns and even toxic relationships can start to just fall away because you've shifted into taking radical responsibility. And that's why it is the turning point in every healing journey, in everyone's healing journey. At some point, to have true and lasting healing, you have to take radical responsibility. So here's a few things that may come up that I wanted to discuss in this video as well, because these kinds of, like internal objections, it's like the ego, the self-talk that tells you, it's like, oh, but they hurt me. I encourage you to realize that you have a choice. And if you're going to hold on to this old story of, oh, they hurt me, or you can create a new one. Now, creating a new story does not mean that the experience did not happen. It just means that you are no longer giving your power to that experience. You're actually taking it back and you are creating something from it. So you can acknowledge that the harm is real, but your responsibility in that is about how you respond, not about excusing the behavior. So if you want to stay in the, oh, but they hurt me, and if you stay in that frame of mind and in that energy, and that's the story that you continue to tell yourself, I would encourage you to be like, okay, yeah, they hurt you, but what did you gain from it? How did you grow from it? What helped you become a better version of you because of the really crappy choices they made, you know? So, because everything that happens to us, in our life helps to make us a better version of ourselves. Like the person that was not nurtured, they become the one that nurtures and cares for people at such a deep level, and it's such a huge gift to all of humanity. So there is definitely good things that can come from this, and allowing yourself to recognize and to hold on to the goodness that you have taken a not great situation and that was meant to keep you low or keep you stuck or to hurt you, and you have taken that and empowered yourself and grown from that experience. That is something like, that is next level. That is the shift that you're looking for. Another common thing that I hear is, but I had no choice. And you're absolutely right. A lot of the time when you are harmed by other people, it was never your choice. You had no choice in what happened at all. But you do have a choice now in what meaning you give to that experience and the action and the healing that you're going to take from it. That's 100% up to you. That's where, again, that's where your power is. So I want you to be careful of the stories that you're telling yourself, because when you start holding on to these stories, we start feeling as though those stories are true. And again, I'm not minimizing what has happened. 100% what has happened to you is very true and very valid. But you can't change what's happened, but you can choose what you're going to do with it moving forward. And that's where radical responsibility comes in and shifts everything for you. So what does this look like in real life? So you can, you should start catching yourself in your excuses, or you're blaming circumstances, your past, or other people. Asking yourself the question of like, what part of this is mine to own? Because everything, even if it's just the fact that you have carried this completely, not knowing you didn't have to, not knowing you could put it down, and you've been carrying whatever happened to you up until this point of your life, that is ownership. Don't blame yourself. When you know better, you can do better, but you have to take ownership that you have been carrying that. You can choose one part to shift. So basically an aligned action instead of waiting for something outside of yourself to change. It's like, okay, this is what I've been carrying. This is what I'm going to do about it. This is how it could be, like something simple like switching the story, or just refusing to have it, come back into your life, and starting to pay attention, build self-awareness of where this one thing is coming into your life and into your day-to-day life and your relationships and things like that. So instead of saying, for an example of like, oh, my relationship is so toxic, you can ask yourself the question of like, okay, well, what boundaries can I put into place, or what choices can I make that actually align with my own well-being and my own sense of safety? This is going to be life-changing. Radical responsibility and taking radical responsibility for yourself and your healing is absolutely life-changing. So essentially, transformation starts when the moment that you stop outsourcing your power, when you stop giving it away to all of these people, experiences, and your past. You've got to just work with what you have moving forward and in the moment to help you to move forward. So radical responsibility is that doorway to the freedom and the healing and the growth that you say that you want. So you can't bypass radical responsibility. It's either you jump in full force or you're unfortunately going to stay stuck where you're at. So essentially, I want to leave this video and asking you one question. It's like, what can you do today in one area of your life to choose something different that's going to allow you to step into radical responsibility? Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here next time.